Welcome to Dorset. Today we're on the River Stour. We're here for sunrise. Great to see you all again, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, we're on the mighty River Stour in Dorset, and it's great to be back on a river again. And we've got a beautiful, frosty, chilly morning. It's temperature of -1 out here, and we've come down today to shoot a bit of an ugly kid. But we're shooting this little half bridge just in the background here. And I'd love to be able to give you a backstory on this one, but I really don't even know too much about it. It's a bit of an oddity. It's just a little bit of a half bridge, not even over the water, just on the other side, and it's just there. I can't really tell you anything too much about it. It's not a great looking subject, but it has a certain appeal, and I really, really like it. We've got a beautiful curvature of the river as it follows all the way down. We've got sunrise happening just behind it there, and we've got a lot of mist rolling through and a little bit of frost just on the foreground. So I'm hopeful we might be able to get a fairly interesting shot out of it at least anyway. It's been another perilously early start this morning, and up at 4:45 and down here to Blandford area, and it's starting to get all very, very early again. But I do love these sunrises because there's just no one around, and it's so nice to just come out and have the place to yourself. I don't know if we'll stay and focus just on this subject because the sunrise has sort of been, and it's all the colour has kind of happened, but it was a little bit too dark to film too much of it. So I got a small bit of B-roll, but not an awful lot. You won't really be able to see too much. The sunrise itself, it was there was a fair amount of colour in some high-level clouds there, but the majority of it was actually obscured by our subject really because it was quite low down. So we couldn't really get too much colour in there. But we're going to stay here for a little while. We're going to see what the mist does and how the light comes up. But then we might sort of dive around and try a few other places here. There's a small weir just at the entrance of here, and there's a lot of sort of mist kicking up from there. So it's possible we might go and shoot there. There's also a bridge further down, and the bridge is quite a nice photogenic subject, so it's possible when the light comes up we might move there. So at the moment it's a bit of a, don't know what we're going to do. We've got a little bit of a plan, and we're just going to try and sort of wing it a little bit and see what we get. In terms of shooting the bridge here this morning, I've tried to incorporate this foreground here, which is a little bit of a messy foreground, but it does look beautiful because it's all covered in frost at the moment. So it gives a real sort of interest, and use the curve of the river as it goes down as a nice lead. And of course we've got our main focal point, the bridge, just over here. So it should be a fairly interesting shot. I might experiment later on with getting a little bit closer to the foreground. At the moment I'm shooting quite high because of that sunrise to try and get that in, but yeah, we might get a little bit lower and try and get more of that foreground. I've also noticed there's a couple of little rocks just further down here on the Stour, and we might be able to use those as a foreground as well. But as I say, very much winging it today. Don't have a set plan, so we'll just see what we get, and we'll try a few things, and hopefully we're going to nail a shot or two. The area itself doesn't really hold an awful lot of shots here. There are, as I say, a couple of features to go out. We've got this little half bridge, we've got a very, very small weir, but it's not looking in great shape at the moment. There's a lot of storm damage up there, and there's some trees that have gone over and got stuck on the weir, so it's not as photogenic as we'd like. There's a little suspension bridge, and then there's a small, nice brick-built bridge, but that's pretty much it really. So what we're really relying on today is this mist, and obviously, you know, this morning, first thing, the sunrise, but it wasn't amazing. It was okay, but hopefully we're going to capitalise when that light comes up. We might be able to get some nice rays popping through or something, and the mist highlighting it. So that's what we're holding out for. But as I say, very much a winging it session. We'll see what happens, and we'll rush around and get to the various bits and pieces and just see what we can get together. I'm so pleased to see a return of mist. We've had so many sort of poor conditions recently. Lots of high wind, lots of sort of, you know, boring, grey, flat, dull skies, nothing much of interest. And all of a sudden, we recently just seem to have had a couple of days with mist and you know, some nice sunrises, and it really is making all the difference. My enthusiasm absolutely rocketed when I see mist and frost here, and it's really nice to get out and shoot some of these things. I think a lot of photographers, myself included, we've all been holding out with the thought of bluebells coming and thinking that will be our chance to get out because conditions have been so poor recently. But as I say, for the past week, we've had some reasonable conditions. I've managed to get out, get a few trips, and hopefully you'll see a few of those videos coming up in the future. But I have been quite lucky with some sunrises and sunsets. So yeah, it's really nice, like I say, especially to get mist, one of my favourite things to shoot. We've just got ourselves a little bit further down the bank and we're now really low. We've got some nice rocks just in the foreground here that look quite interesting, and we're going to use those as a nice little bit of foreground interest. And we've got the bridge just in the background. The sunrise itself, the colour has all gone now, so we're just waiting for kind of available light. But this might be a nice sort of pastel-y shot, a little bit of interest with the mist rolling through, so we'll see how we get on. Shooting on a wide angle, 15mm at the moment, but I think very soon I'm probably going to swap over to the 24-105 so we can punch into some of that mist in certain areas and see if we can get a little bit better shot there.
The longer I stayed, the more painfully obvious it became that the shot just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't the right conditions for it, and it wasn't really the best subject for this particular morning, so I started to look for something else. Having looked behind me, I could see some nice light forming on the bridge in the distance, so I decided to up sticks, grab all the gear and go for a wander, see what I could find in search of better light. The bridge looked beautiful, bathed in golden morning light, and I knew it was my last chance to save the session and get a shot. The problem was, one side of the bank was private and the other side was fully tree lined and obscured the bridge. The only thing for it, I was going to have to shoot it from the suspension bridge.
Well, the bridge wasn't too inspiring, so to be fair, I've decided I'm going to move down to the weir, and we've got this beautiful bridge just in the background and it's lit up gorgeously. So I'm going to take a couple of quick cropped in pictures of that one and see how we can do. I apologise for the noise, we're literally right above the weir here, so it's a little bit noisy. Well, it's been a tough shoot today on the Dorset Stour. Usually it's got a bit more interest to it, but the mist and the frost, it just wasn't kind of at 100% really, and the subject, it wasn't inspiring me as much as it probably should have, and you know, I pushed for a subject that probably wasn't the best and made the mistake there, but we deviated from the plan, realised it wasn't working, moved, and I'm really confident we got a nice shot of the bridge down here. It does look really nice with the golden morning light on it, so I'm hopeful that might have rescued the shoot somewhat. Still, it's never a wasted time. When you're in a beautiful location like this, you've got the birds singing all around you, nice light, it's not all bad, is it? It's a very short vlog this morning. As I say, it was all on the fly, didn't really know what the plan was, and was just making it up as I go along, much like the vlog really, so apologise that it's so short. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, please do hit that like button and leave a comment, and if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, take care, I'll see you next time.